using an app called Randonautica?
Oh, my Prieta! Prieta!
Put my finger on.
Steve Ronan knows all too well how terrifying Randonautica can be. Based on his own unsettling encounters, he warns others not to take the app lightly. In one particular video, Steve and his friend Josh decide to challenge the unknown by asking Randonautica to lead them to something. In their own words, dark and twisted. The app obliges send them deep into the woods. It's there that they notice a strange, unexplained light in the distance. Following it, they come across a pentagram painted on a tree, an ominous and disturbing symbol that seems to confirm their request. But things only get creepier from there. Their journey leads them to an abandoned house, where the same mysterious light reappears. No matter how close they get, the light stays the same, Sizer ruling out the possibility that it's coming from their own gear. At exactly 16 minutes and 50 seconds into the video, the light moves behind an object in the backyard, proving it's not part of their equipment at all. As they explore the house, a ghostly figure can be seen in a screen window, what appears to be a face framed by two hands. Moments later, at 21 minutes and 29 seconds, they spot yet another eerie face peering down from the hallway, just beyond the railing.
We were using an app called Randonautica?
Police officers suddenly begin calling out, demanding that they come out and explain what they're doing there. From what I've gathered, a man named Chris Flores from Mexico used the Randonautica app a few months ago, in July. The coordinates he received led him to the outskirts of a small town. Upon arriving, Chris quickly noticed that the area seemed to be an informal encampment, what looked like a makeshift living space for homeless individuals. It wasn't long, barely a minute, before Chris stumbled upon something truly heartbreaking.
No es lo que yo esperaba. Que llegamos a un campamento base de indigentes, al parecer. Hay un desmadre, pero nada más. A ver, no mames. A la mierda. Hay una persona.
Lying in the grass was the body of what appeared to be a homeless person. Out of respect, no footage of the scene was shown, but one can only imagine the shock and distress Chris must have felt upon making such a discovery. Sadly, this isn't the first time Randonautica has led users to disturbing scenes like this. In fact, the app first gained widespread attention after a group of teens in Seattle found a body inside a black suitcase using it. How or why this app continues to guide people to such dark and bizarre places remains a mystery. The YouTube channel, Exploring with Eric, decided to use the Randonautica app to guide them to the scariest location possible, and it definitely delivered. Their journey takes them down a long, remote dirt road marked with multiple signs, one of which stands out as a warning. Although Google Translate couldn't decode the message perfectly, the sign appears to claim that the land belongs to a dangerous witch who is always watching. If anyone knows the full translation, they'd love the help. As they press forward, they encounter two fences eerily decorated with worn and damaged dolls, many of which are burnt or missing limbs, suggesting they were used in some kind of dark ritual before being put on display as a chilling deterrent. At the end of the path, they come across three handmade mannequins dressed in tattered old clothing. They might resemble scarecrows at first, but with no crops in sight, it feels more like a disturbing memorial or part of some twisted ceremony. One of the mannequins, especially the one on the left, gives off an unsettling vibe.
Do you guys see that?
It's hard to shake the feeling that something or someone could be buried beneath the ground there. Not long after, they discover a small shack further along the trail. But this place doesn't look like a home. It seems more like a holding cell, or a place meant for something far more sinister. Just as they're about to investigate, a powerful sensation of being watched overwhelms them and they take off running. Honestly, that was probably the smartest move they could have made. If you ever decide to use the Randonautica app, Most people recommend going during the daytime. At the very least, daylight gives you the advantage of being able to clearly see your surroundings. Fortunately, musician Lissy Coma followed that advice. Not only did she head out while it was still light outside, but she also brought a friend along, which turned out to be a wise decision. After arriving at the coordinates, the two were unsettled to hear what sounded like a ritualistic chant coming from inside a nearby building. The truly eerie part? Lissy said they were in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by a cluster of completely abandoned structures.
Like they're doing a ritual. This is real. This is not a game. This is what we get murdered.
Judging by the looks on their faces in the video, that moment was the end of their Randonautica adventures. Lissy later wrote that neither she nor her friend saw anyone enter or exit the building during their entire visit. And based on her TikTok page, it seems neither of them has gone randonauting since. Like I've said before, just because you're exploring during the day doesn't mean you won't stumble across something deeply unsettling. Rose is a young mother who typically shares lighthearted TikTok videos, often featuring moments with her newborn baby. One evening, she decided to use the Randonautica app around 7 p.m., accompanied by who appears to be her partner. If you're familiar with Randonautica, you probably know that venturing out at night using the app is highly discouraged. Strange and sometimes downright terrifying things have been reported by users, and Rose's experience was no exception.
Hang on, Michael, let's go. Please. Bro, I'm scared. Get out now.
The couple arrived at the random location generated by the app, only to be met with a disturbing sight. A man standing there, holding a knife and screaming at the top of his lungs. Alarmed, Rose urgently told Michael to start the car. After a moment of hesitation, he died and they began driving away.
Please go.
Are you actually trying?
Go. He's scaring me. Michael, I'm so scared.
He had a gun.
What the
That dude had a gun.
What started as a cautious escape quickly turned into a tense situation. Michael noticed another man in the rearview mirror, claiming this one appeared to be holding a gun. Without wasting a second, they sped up and got out of the area as fast as possible. Worried viewers flooded the comments, asking if the couple had contacted the police and whether they were safe. Rose responded to the concerns, updating everyone on their well-being.
Yeah, there were two guys. One like probably 50 yards behind the one dude, and we thought it was a gun, so we sped off and ducked our heads. So
Whether or not the second man was armed, the first was clearly holding a knife and shouting the word paradise, repeatedly, an unsettling detail that only deepened the mystery. This incident serves as a chilling reminder. It's probably best to avoid using Randonautica, exploring unfamiliar places after dark. Jasko, also known by his YouTube name Yasinko, is a US-based content creator best known for his chilling videos centered around the dark web, the paranormal, and all things scary. However, over the past 2 or 3 months, he's shifted his focus to a new trend, exploring eerie and mysterious locations using the Randonautica app. In one particular video, Jasko and a friend venture out during the day, visiting several coordinates provided by the app. But the most unsettling moment occurs about 17 minutes into the video.
I just see like a leg sticking out. It's a person. Yo, what should we do? Call the probably.
That's when the app directs them to a massive, long-abandoned shopping mall that's reportedly been deserted for over 20 years. Though the daylight was quickly fading, Jasko and his friend decide to hop out of their car and check it out. Curiosity gets the better of them, and they begin exploring the decaying structure.
Hello? Sir? Ma'am? Hello? Hello? It doesn't look like he's breathing. It doesn't look like he's breathing.
As they make their way around the back of the mall, the two unexpectedly come across what appears to be a body lying on a concrete platform. At first, they consider calling the police, but ultimately, they decide to approach and check if the man is okay themselves.
What? Oh no. Bro!
One of them gently nudges the Manon to their shock. He suddenly sits up, starts coughing, and gives them a strange, unsettling stare. Spooked, Jasko and his friend immediately turn and bolt back to their vehicle. As they scramble into the car, the man begins walking toward them, but thankfully, they manage to drive off before anything else happens. In the video's comment section, many viewers speculated that things could have taken a dangerous turn. Some even suggested the man may have been under the influence of drugs and could have potentially harmed them, but in the end, no one can say for sure. Joe and Rob, the duo behind the YouTube channel Urban Ghosts, Urban Exploration, are well known for their deep dives into abandoned buildings and their passion for the paranormal. In recent months, they've taken their explorations a step further by incorporating the Randonautica app into their adventures visiting places they likely wouldn't have considered otherwise. In one particularly eerie video, Joe decides to go randonauting solo, telling viewers that he specifically asked the app to guide him to a location that was creepy or haunted.
It just seems like really ominous here. I can't really put my finger on. What was that? Well, that's a bird now, but oh my gosh, you guys had to have heard that. Before that bird, there was something like...
As Joe stands in front of the camera, describing the unsettling vibe of the abandoned building he's been led to, something bizarre happens. A large, ominous-looking gate behind him suddenly appears to shift or move on its own. The noise is distinct enough to catch Joe's attention mid-sentence. Curious and slightly unnerved, he picks up his camera and tripod and walks over to investigate, but finds nothing there.
There's an abandoned building right here, and there's this gate. Oh, wow. What was that? There's nothing back here.
Brushing it off with a few nervous laughs, Joe continues deeper into the site. Before entering, he stops to say a quick prayer, clearly feeling the tension in the air. Still puzzled about why the app brought him to such a location, he decides to pull out another tool, the necrophonic app, commonly used for spirit communication. What he hears through it genuinely startles him.
I still don't know what this is. I thought I heard devil. The fence! What about the fence? What about the fence? Run.
Midway through the session, Joe suddenly hears what sounds like soft footsteps creeping up behind him, paired with faint voices whispering from the nearby bushes. He cautiously checks the area, but, again, sees no one. At that point, the atmosphere becomes too intense. Trusting his instincts, Joe ends the investigation and moves on to his next Randonautica destination. In the description of the video, Joe and Rob note that this may very well be the last time they attempt a solo randonauting tripan understandable decision. After all, when you're out in the middle of nowhere, guided by a mysterious app, you never really know who or what you might encounter. If you're into raw, captivating paranormal content, be sure to check out Urban Ghosts, Urban Exploration for more of their thrilling Randonautica journeys.